Hey, it's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be going over 5 ways you can gain more MMR in solo queue. I've got a list here of 5 different ideas, 5 different strategies you can use right now, today, literally to start gaining more MMR. And honestly, this list is 5 things I use constantly. Like, you have to have things to go back to, because the reality is, for instance, guys, I'm not gonna lie, my score today in solo queue, 1 in 5. So you might be like, Speed, how in the world are you making a video talking about gaining MMR in solo queue when you just went 1 in 5? Well, the reality is, me going 1 in 5 made me think like, I need to reset and refocus on what helps me play the best, right? What helps me gain MMR? What helps me play the best? And so yeah, here's 5 of the ideas I always come back to, and let's get into it. Also, before we do, I just want to let you guys know I'm making a lot of draft analysis and pro game analysis on the gameleap website. I'm also talking about different builds you can go over there as well. So if you're interested in different builds to try, pro game analysis, as I said, and overall learning Dota at a much higher level, I recommend signing up to the gameleap website, which you can do by clicking the link in the description down below, and I'll see you guys there. All right, so the first point is finding 3 to 5 heroes you play consistently and then playing back-to-back games. This is something I personally am actually very good at. I tend not to struggle with this because I, for a while now, have understood the importance of just like really narrowing down my hero pool. Now, for a lot of players, they don't like doing this. They find it boring, unexciting, and I understand that. However, that is why it is 3 to 5 heroes. Now, I know there are people who like randoming every game, who like switching from hero to hero, but you're going to stagnate your growth by doing this. It is much better to have a pretty clear idea of the 3 to 5 heroes you want to play, all of which should have somewhat similar identities. I'm not saying you have to play 5 spirit heroes or, 5 flash farming carries. I'm not saying that, but 5 heroes that you feel you are excited to play. That's the big thing. And then play back-to-back games of these heroes. For instance, recently I spammed 4 games of Lycan in a row. I've also played 2 games. My last 2 games were both Timbersaw. So from the first game to the second game, I came into the game with different ideas, right? When I played the first game, I made some mistakes. I had some things I potentially wanted to change. So in the second game, I made those changes and could see how they would play out. That's a big deal when it comes to learning, and you guys need to implement that. Also, a big thing I do as well is after I finished those Timber games, I actually lost both of them, unfortunately. But then I went and I watched a pro games replay. I watched DM, who I believe is I think he's from Eastern Europe, if I'm not mistaken. And I watched his Timbersaw gameplay, and I gathered some ideas from him. I looked at his item build. I watched when he rotated to mid. I watched how he played a very hard lane. He was against Monkey King, which is a terrible lane for Timbersaw, but he was actually able to get through that lane. And then Timbersaw is actually very good against Monkey King in the mid game. It's just a laning stage problem. And so he was able to get through the lane by dragging and cutting the wave in a specific manner. And that really catapulted me to the next level. So my 3 to 5 heroes right now are Nature's Prophet, Lycan, Timbersaw, Death Prophet, and Primal Beast. I personally always aim to have about 5 because I'm someone who I just can't play the same hero 20 games in a row, 10 games in a row. It just doesn't work. So I tend to play the same hero about 3 games in a row. And when I say 3 games in a row, my heroes get banned sometimes. Or I just won't want to play Timbersaw when I have like a certain set of heroes on the enemy team. If their first set of heroes are like AA Nyx Assassin, I guess AA is pretty playable, but like Nyx Assassin's really unfun. So maybe I'll still pick it anyway if I'm just like bored and I really want to play Timbersaw. But either way, you guys get the point. Find the 3 to 5 heroes you can play consistently and then play back-to-back games. Also, side point, watch replays after the games as well, or before the games. It's going to make you way better. All right, the second point is having a backup support hero and spending the time to actually understand the hero. Now, this goes both ways, but I'm assuming most of you guys are core players. Now, you can comment down below if you're a support player. I do understand that a lot of the people who watch my videos, and I bless you for that. Thank you for watching my videos and supporting, are support players. You guys are very supporting people. All right, but basically, you gotta learn a backup support hero if you're a core, okay? You have to have it, and you gotta actually be good at it. Because I know a lot of you guys, you have to get your role queue games in, right? So I get it, you play Lich, okay? You play Crystal Maiden. It's the hero you pick. Fine, good, great, but you're so bad. Why are you so bad? Spend a little bit of time, watch one supporting video. I know you're a core player, but spend the time. It's also going to make you a better core player. Why? Because you can guide your teammates better. You can guide your support. Say, hey, I need a ward here, right? Please ward this area. Maybe hey, you can drag the camp this way. You can pull the camp this way. Now, you don't want to say too much in solo queue, which is actually a point later in the video, but basically you can just be a better teammate, especially when you have to play your off role, when you have to play support and you're a core player, or you have to play core and you're a support player, which tends not to happen, but if that does happen, you gotta be able to be flexible. Don't be the guy who wants in every, 4 matches? I don't even know. Personally, I can't role queue because of how Dota has matchmaking set up, but I have so many coaching students that just are heinous at their backup role. Spend a little bit of time, watch 1 or 2 videos on the gameleap website, which you should sign up for, obviously, and yeah, get that done. All right, getting to the third point, learn to give, this is huge, learn to give basic calls. When you're communicating, you have to make it short, concise, and be somewhat loud. I'm not perfect at this. I'm constantly working on it because it's a big deal. But the amount of people who will literally say nothing or an essay is like the majority of the Dota community. Most people don't say anything, which is fine. I get it. It is what it is. I actually highly recommend learning to talk a little. It's a major advantage because of a couple of reasons. The main reasons why a little bit of communication, very minimal. Maybe you're saying 3 to 5 sentences throughout the entire game. Okay, the reason why it's useful is it will make people realize that you are trying, which will make them try harder. That is how people are, especially guys. I find when they see the person next to them grinding and trying their hardest, they lock in. It's contagious. Hard work and effort is contagious. It is, you know it. And so when you are the guy saying, hey, kill this person, they will be like, oh, my teammate's trying. I need to focus. I need to lock in. It makes a big difference. The amount of games, I honestly, sometimes when I lose a lot of solo queue, I stop talking. I get tilted. Or if I think I'm playing bad, I stop talking. I'm nervous. I don't want to get flamed. You know what I mean? That type of vibe. But it's so bad. The amount of games I win when I give basic communication is key. Now, I'd like to go to the other end. If you are saying too much, you are ruining your chances of winning. No one wants to hear an essay about why they should have roached 10 minutes ago. No one cares. It's not useful. You're just annoying. You're just annoying. You're just annoying. Make things concise. If you want to go roach, say go roach. If you want to go for a kill, say let's kill mid. If you want to smoke, say can we smoke? Or go smoke. Don't write an essay. Don't say too much. Don't say pointless stuff. Try not to talk about the past. I have this issue even on my current team. I talk about the past a little bit too much. I'll bring things up. I'll harp on things. It's not good. It's not useful. We all have similar problems when it comes to how we think, our communication. We get too focused on what happened in the last 2-3 minutes, especially if we lost a fight, and we end up harping on it, whether or not it's out loud or in our heads. And this is something you have to try not to do. You have to try to be more concise with your thoughts, more concise, especially if you're going to vocalize those thoughts to your teammates. Make it very brief, quick, and in a neutral voice. Okay, if you're making a hype call, you can be a little bit more loud, but like if you're giving advice, it's gotta be chill and quick, and that's it. All right, the fourth point is don't play more than you think you should. This is big for me. I rarely play more than 6-7 pubs a day. Honestly, even getting to 6-7, my eyes start to strain and like it's hard for me to think properly. I can't focus that well. And it is what it is. You just gotta know. The thing I can focus on is like replays, right? I personally like watching a lot of replays. I watch a ton of replays. And that's something I mean, I'm not perfect at focusing on it. Like I'm not gonna tell you guys, oh, I can watch a 30-minute replay in 1x speed without losing focus. Like I'm gonna usually lose focus probably about 10 to 15 times. Like I definitely have a bit of a focus problem when it comes to watching replays, but I will, when I'm watching, I refocus in constantly. I'm refocused. I'll like skip back a minute, like 30 times during the replay. Easily. I'm not just saying that. Like easily, I'm constantly rewinding when I'm watching replays. Even when I'm making videos about analysis, I'm often going back, not as much because I'll have watched the game beforehand most of the time. But you get the point. Don't play more than you think you should. You're gonna lose focus. You're going to not be able to stay locked in, and that is the biggest thing for performing at your highest level. Your MMR is an indication of how well you're playing. You will get a lot of MMR just by being more aware of your limitations. You gotta know just be honest with yourself. People are playing 10, 15. I had a coaching student recently, you know who you are. You're my boy, he's such a nice guy. But oh my God, I played like 15 games 2 days in a row. And of course he lost most of them. No one can do that. And yes, you gotta know who you are, okay? Some people can only play 3 games of solo queue. And yes, you could learn to do more. You could learn to do better, learn to focus for longer if that's your grind, if that's your goal. And some people can play 8, 9 and be okay and focus. It really depends on the person. Just listen to yourself. Really try to just listen to yourself. A lot of people, they just kind of push through their barrier. They're like bored as hell. Right? They're like, I don't know what to do today. I guess I'll queue up another game. Don't queue up another game. Go make some food. Go on a walk. Go to the gym. I don't know. Go watch a YouTube video. Just don't grief your game. You're going to pick some hero you've never played before and play like garbage. Please. All right. And the last point, the fifth and final point for gaining MMR is sticking to the fundamentals. This one's literally massive. The amount of people who buy coaching from me and then will bring up a replay or have me do a replay review. They'll bring up a replay and they will say, hey, this one fight, please look at this fight. This is the main thing that lost us the game. I don't understand. What do you mean this is the main thing that lost you the game? How is one team fight? Even though of course it's important. It's a team fight. Everything you do is equally important. It's the outcome of the game is the culmination of every decision you make. And they're all important. They're all brutally important. You missing a last hit a minute in, delaying your second mango or your stick is going to potentially lose you the lane. Of course it could. Of course it could, right? Of course. You playing support and missing a sentry block on the small camp because you forgot is terrible. You placing down an observer ward when under enemy vision is game losing. You have to stick to the fundamentals. Now, here is the fundamentals I would recommend sticking to. Number 1, if you're a core, last hitting. In the lane, you cannot miss a lot of last hits and think you are going to get to the next level. The next one, on the same note, if you're a core in the laning stage, trading, how much value are you getting out of your spells? When you were trading with the enemy position 5, are you getting auto-attacked more or less than them? Who is getting more auto-attacks in? Who is trading better? Who is having to buy more regen? Right? Please win that battle. If you cannot consistently win that battle, you are not the better player in the game. You don't deserve to gain MMR, at least not within the laning stage. Right? When it comes to laning stage, definitely not. Then, for both roles, core or support, spellcasting and teamfight, how efficient are you in your team fights? Are you missing spells? Are you casting your spells as fast as you possibly can? Are you casting your items as fast and efficiently as you possibly can? Or are you messing up? And then finally is fight selection. Are you taking fights? Are you taking 3v5s for no reason? Are you initiating when your team isn't very close, right? Are you fighting at towers and then getting set up on because the enemy has the vision advantage? You gotta look into these 3 things. Last hitting and trading, depending on your role, spell casting and team fights, and your fight selection. If you are messing these things up, which you will, you need to focus up and fix it. If you can, these 3 things alone, you will gain MMR. If you get better at these things, you will gain MMR. They're very, very, very important. Now, as I said, everything is important, right? Every decision you make, whether or not you walk left instead of right, whether or not you decided to cast Chakram or Timber Chain first, right? Everything is important, but stick to the fundamentals. If you are lost and confused and you feel like nothing is working, like I went 1 in 5 today, I have to watch my replays, go through it and be like, what am I doing wrong? If I start getting too complicated, I will make it harder than it has to be. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video about 5 tips to gain MMR. If you want more tips to gain MMR, I have plenty of advice over on the gameleap website, or you can subscribe to this channel for absolutely free. Of course, you can like the video as well, which I greatly would appreciate. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.